The courtroom didn't just hold a trial. It held a Netflix finale, a Zeus reunion, and a Tyler Perry play all rolled into one. And the star of this chaotic production, none other than Lil Durk, the OTF general, the man who's rapped about, surviving every storm, found himself shattered under the cold glare of a judge who delivered a ruling so harsh it made the internet stop breathing. Forget plot twists. This was a plot explosion. Picture this, a courtroom so tense you could hear the microphones buzzing. The judge drops his decision with the kind of energy usually reserved for WWE SmackDowns. And Durk, the hardened rapper who built an empire off grit and survival, suddenly cracks. Tears, real ones, in public, under the blinding flash of reporters who smelled scandal like sharks, smell blood. And when those clips hit Twitter, boom. The meltdown became the headline. Memes flew faster than subpoenas, hashtags trended harder than Super Bowl ads, and fans debated whether this was vulnerability or humiliation. This wasn't just a court ruling. This was cultural chaos. A gavel dropped, a rapper broke down, and the internet turned it into a season of drama you can't look away from. The day started like any other court hearing. Security guards scanning bags, reporters sipping burnt coffee, and fans crowding outside like it was a red carpet. But everyone in that building knew this wasn't just another case. This was the case. Lil Durk, the face of OTF, the man who turned Chicago's darkest pain into chart-topping hits, was about to face the kind of ruling that could either free him or crush him. Inside the courtroom, the atmosphere felt heavier than a Drake album. Roll out. The air buzzed with whispers. Was Durk going to skate by? Was the judge going to cut him a break? Or was this the moment the law came crashing down like a DJ Khaled ad-lib at 2 a.m? Then the judge walked in, cold, unbothered, moving with the same energy as a teacher who caught you cheating and talking back. From the jump, you could tell this wasn't going to end with a smile and a handshake. When the gavel hit, the ruling dropped like a nuke. Not lenient, not merciful, harsh, brutal, designed to sting, designed to remind the world that fame doesn't equal immunity. The words echoed through the courtroom, each syllable slicing through the silence like a knife. Lawyers froze, reporters nearly tripped over themselves typing notes. And Durk, his entire composure shattered on the spot. This wasn't the tough, stoic face from his music videos. This wasn't the boss fans screamed for at concerts. This was Durk the human, blindsided, broken, and betrayed by the very system he thought he might finesse. His head dropped, his shoulders slumped, and tears streamed in full view of cameras that caught everything. It wasn't just emotion, it was collapse. The courtroom turned into pure chaos. Gasps filled the air. One spectator even shouted, "Not Durk!" before being hushed. The judge didn't flinch. He sat there like an ice sculpture, unmoved, as if rappers crying in his courtroom was just another Tuesday. Durk's team scrambled. Some tried to console him. Others whispered frantically like they were brainstorming an emergency PR plan right there on the spot. But nothing could stop it. The image was burned into everyone's minds. Lil Durk, the OTF general, breaking down after a ruling so cold it made the North Pole jealous. And when that footage left the courthouse, the internet detonated. Twitter was first. The hashtags Lil Durk, Chum Courtroom Chaos, and Jauch Durk Breakdown were trending before Durk even left the building. One viral tweet read, "Judge harsher than his ops." Another, "Durk went from the voice to the tears." The sarcasm was brutal, but the likes and retweets stacked up like OTF chains. Instagram followed, plastered with screenshots of Durk's tear-streaked face, paired with captions like, "When the judge says no plea deals," and OTF and Salbi chants. Only. Tears flowing. Savage, yes. But the internet doesn't hand out sympathy. It hands out memes. TikTok creators wasted no time. Clips of Durk's breakdown were stitched into parodies, set to sad violin music, or edited with NBA commentators screaming, "Down goes Durk." One user even layered it with Celine Dion's "My Heart Will Go On," turning his collapse into Titanic-level melodrama. Millions of views poured in overnight. The blogs ate it alive. Headlines screamed, "Lil Durk shatters in courtroom after harsh judge ruling." Courtroom chaos leaves OTF boss in tears. Fans shocked as Durk crumbles under. Pressure! YouTubers cranked out analysis videos with thumbnails of Durk crying under giant red arrows and words like exposed or humiliated. Even the streets weighed in. Outside the courthouse, fans recorded themselves venting, "Man, they trying to break Durk." Some cried, some cursed, some demanded justice. But the loudest voices online weren't sympathetic. They were clowning. Because in hip-hop, toughness is gold, and tears are kryptonite. The irony was painful. Durk had built his empire on being the voice of the streets, the survivor who never folded, the leader who carried pain like armor. And yet, here he was, exposed, vulnerable, and trending for crying under the weight of a judge's words. But make no mistake, this wasn't just a legal ruling. It was a cultural moment. The courtroom chaos became bigger than the case. It became a story about image, reputation, and the internet's thirst for drama. Because when a rapper cries in court, it doesn't stay in court. It becomes content. It becomes a meme. It becomes history. Messy, outrageous, and unforgettable. When the noise from the courtroom chaos finally started to fade, what lingered wasn't clarity, it was wreckage. The memes slowed down, but they didn't stop. The jokes softened, but they didn't disappear. And for Lil Durk, the aftermath felt less like the end of a scandal and more like the beginning of a long, messy era. The fallout hit first online. No matter what Durk posted, the comments were hijacked. A new chain. Fans spammed, "That's not ice, that's tears frozen solid." A luxury car. Crying in style. Even his motivational post got flipped. He talking about strength, but couldn't hold it in court. For a man whose reputation was built on composure, the internet's permanent reminder of his collapse was devastating. Then came the industry freeze-out. Promoters who once fought to book him quietly pulled back. A few shows were rumored to be rescheduled, which in industry language means cancelled without admitting it. Labels stopped hyping his projects with the same energy. Even DJs began slipping fewer Durk tracks into their sets, not because the music had changed, but because the perception had. In hip-hop, once the aura cracks, the momentum bleeds out. Behind the scenes, insiders whispered that the scandal cost him millions in opportunities. Brands didn't want their image tied to courtroom tears. Networks hesitated on documentary deals. Even streaming platforms, which thrive on controversy, tiptoed around him instead of cashing in. It wasn't just a scandal anymore, it was a financial hemorrhage. But perhaps the harshest blow came from the streets. In Chicago, in Atlanta, in every city where Durk's name carried weight, fans started debating whether their voice was still their voice. Respect, the most priceless currency in rap, was now being questioned. "If he broke in court, what else can break him?" one viral tweet asked. Another, "He survived ops but not a judge. Damn." The commentary stung harder than any diss track. And the irony? Durk's attempt to show humanity, to crack under the pressure of a brutal ruling, backfired in the worst way. Vulnerability in rap is a double-edged sword. For some, it makes you relatable. For others, it makes you weak. In this case, the scales tipped toward weakness, at least in the eyes of an unforgiving internet. The long-term stain became obvious within weeks. Every new scandal in hip-hop was compared back to Durk. When another rapper faced legal trouble, fans commented, "Don't pull a Durk." When artists posted emotional lives, trolls spammed courtroom energy. His breakdown had become a cultural reference point, shorthand for cracking under pressure. And yet, not everyone laughed. A growing faction of fans defended him, framing the breakdown as courage, not weakness. They argued that he was carrying trauma, pressure, and pain that most couldn't imagine. "He cried because he's real," one fan wrote. "You'll laugh, but he's the only one honest enough to show it. These voices were loyal, but they were drowned out by the louder, crueler narrative. The blogs and media never let it die either. Even months later, headlines continue to circle back. Lil Durk announces new album after courtroom breakdown. Durk spotted in public. Fans reference tears. Every story dragged the scandal back into the spotlight, forcing him to relive it over and over. The internet doesn't forgive. It recycles. And the silence from peers spoke volumes. No A-list collabs dropped in the aftermath. No cosigns came to his defense. It was as if the industry decided to wait him out, to see if his image could recover before attaching themselves again. Loyalty in the game is conditional, and when the fire burns, most step back. The cultural conversation hardened. Was Lil Durk still a leader, or had the courtroom cracked his crown? Some argued he could bounce back with music, that a vulnerable, pain-soaked project could flip the narrative. Others said the damage was permanent, that no song could erase the memes burned into people's heads. But the biggest cliffhanger is whether Durk himself can embrace it. Will he ignore the scandal and try to bury it under new hits? Will he lean into it, turning tears into an anthem? Or will the internet refuse to ever let him live it down? The answers aren't clear, and that's exactly why the story won't die. Because in hip-hop, scandals don't fade quietly. They echo, they stain, they follow you like a shadow. And Lil Durk's courtroom breakdown, that wasn't just a moment. That was a cultural reset. The day the voice of the streets lost his composure and the world turned it into content. The judge dropped a ruling. Durk dropped his guard. And the internet? The internet picked it up and ran with it, turning vulnerability into entertainment and entertainment into legacy. The question now isn't whether Durk cried. We all saw it. The question is whether he can ever outrun it, or whether the voice will forever be remembered as the man who broke down when the gavel came down. And there you have it. A courtroom so chaotic it made Zeus Network look like PBS. A judge colder than an ex with no closure. And Lil Durk left shattered in front of the world while the internet turned his tears into memes faster than DoorDash delivers wings. But now I want to hear from you. Was this the moment the system broke one of rap's toughest survivors? Or was this the mask slipping on a rapper who built an image too strong to sustain? Do you see Durk as a victim of an unfair ruling, or as another artist who cracked when the spotlight was brightest? Drop your verdict in the comments below, and don't hold back, because this scandal already has the internet divided like a Thanksgiving dinner fight. And while you're typing away, smash that like button like the judge smashed Durk's composure. Don't just tap it, body slam it, stomp it, drag it across the floor WWE style. Then hit subscribe right now, because here at The Rap Truth, we don't just report scandals, we roast them, exaggerate them, and serve them with sarcasm so sharp it could cut diamonds. Turn those notifications on, because scandals don't wait for you to catch up. Today, it's Lil Durk's courtroom tears. Tomorrow, it's another rapper caught slipping. Another meltdown live-streamed. Another judge turning a rap career into daytime drama. And when that chaos explodes, The Rap Truth will be right here, breaking it down hotter than TMZ, wilder than Twitter, and nastier than 50 Cent in a feud. This isn't gossip. This isn't news. This is scandal theater. And the curtain never closes. This is The Rap Truth. Signing off until the next bombshell drops.